One of the most fun things about being creative is, well, being creative and using things in unexpected ways. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 unexpected ways to use supplies from the October 2022 CreateAlong Box. Hey there, Sandy here. Welcome to another polymer clay video with CreateAlong. So the theme of the October 2022 CreateAlong Box is alien invasion. I'm not really into aliens, and these funny little cutters came in, but what I really liked was the shape of the teardrops. So all I did was took a pair of wire cutters and actually snipped those eyes right out. Now, if you ever decide you want to use this as an alien cutter again, you can simply put it back together. It's no big deal, but you can now also use these eyes separately, like maybe for a creature like a fox or a cat. That's exactly what I've done with this one. And so we have these really nice kind of fat teardrops. Next we have this really cool glitter. This is oven safe glitter, by the way, from CreateAlong. And we often put this on the outsides of things, but why not mix it into our clay? So that's our next unexpected use. This is mixing glitter in. I've rolled my clay here. This can get kind of messy. I've rolled it on about a 4 on my atlas, which is just over a millimeter. And don't go too crazy here. You can always add more, but if you want to take it out, you'll have to add in more of your colored clay. So what I'm going to do here is roll this. I'm just going to try to contain the glitter. So I'm going to roll it into thirds. And then I'm going to fold it like this. And it's going to go through the pasta machine with this fold first. So any air will come out these open areas. You might want to flatten it out a little. And then start sending it through the pasta machine to mix in all that glitter. After mixing, you'll have something like this if you mix in a little bit less glitter, the amount I showed you. Or you'll have something like this if you mix in maybe a little bit more, maybe a little too much. It depends on what you want. By the way, do you see those scrapes on there? That is from my pasta machine because there is glitter stuck to the blades. So make sure you grab a wipe and clean your pasta machine well after mixing glitter into clay. The third different way of using supplies is with this stencil. This is the Moon Mamba stencil that came in the box. And normally when you see a stencil, you think of stenciling on paint, sometimes mica powders. But have you ever thought of stenciling on liquid clay? And actually what we're going to do is mix liquid clay with some glow-in-the-dark powder. So I suppose that's kind of a 4th unexpected way of using supplies. I'm going to use this to make a keychain that glows so that you're not going to lose it, which I think is kind of a cool idea. You can find it in the depths of your purse. So this is about a 1/2 teaspoon of liquid clay. And then maybe about half that much of the glow-in-the-dark powder. And mix that up well. I'm using glow-in-the-dark powders, by the way, because they'll give you a much better glow than the polymer clay, like the Sculpey glow-in-the-dark. It doesn't last very long. But this one, especially the green color, lasts a good long time. So I've got my cutter that I'm going to use to cut my keychain. I'm just kind of making note of the area I need to cover. And I have a stencil brush. And I'm just going to put on a pretty thick coat of the liquid clay with the glowy stuff mixed in. And just keep checking with your cutter until you have the whole area you need. And I'm leaving it, notice I'm leaving it thick so that I have a good area that will glow after baking. Okay, once you have the area covered, you can remove the stencil, and isn't that cool? And then use your cutter to cut out whichever section you fancy. And then the best way is to just leave that cutter in place and remove the excess clay. And it's such a small amount of the liquid clay mixture on there that you can just leave that and mix it right back in and use that black clay for another project or even for the back of your pendant. These edges are going to be ragged with all that glitter in there. It really can't be helped. The best thing to do is leave it on the tile and bake it. And after baking, you can sand it. When you're baking polymer clay that's on a tile, you need to add in at least 15 minutes for the tile because it soaks up all the heat at first until it comes to temperature. And then the clay gets the heat. So I would bake this for 45 minutes. After baking, you'll have something like this, and you can grab some heavy grit sandpaper. This is 80 grit, and come in and just take care of those ragged edges. Now let's take a look at what happens when you turn the lights off. Can you see it glowing? At this point, you'll need to decide what you want to do to finish the edges. You can do a number of things. First, I would suggest sanding it again so that everything is flush. You can paint it with some more of your glow-in-the-dark liquid clay and call it a day. You can paint it with just some plain liquid clay and then roll it in more of the glitter. Or you could just add a strip of clay to the outside edge in whatever color you want to finish it. Then you'll need to drill a hole so that you can hang it from your keychain. Now keep in mind that these glow-in-the-dark colors, they need to be charged. That means it needs to be kept in the light so that it can absorb the light so that it will glow when the lights are turned off. So if your keys are always in a dark place, they're never going to glow. But if you have them someplace light, then when you throw them in your purse, you should be able to see a small glow. So there's a hole and a nice big jump ring to attach to a keychain or anything you want. Other ideas for using this technique would be on a light switch plate so that you can see where it is in the dark, or on a little night light, or anything that you need to locate shortly after the lights are turned out. So hope you have fun using your supplies in unusual and unexpected ways. Once again, this is C&D Huntress for CreateAlong, wishing you happy creating.